Greetings and salutations.
Hello. I'm very excited about our extra wet Wednesday today.
I know, it's so extra wet. Who doesn't like them extra wet?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like double your pleasure.
I'm thinking of W.
A double McGum.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why I wanted to say Mentos, and I was like, wait,
Ooh,
no.
Mentos.
Kids these days won't even know what that's about.
No, they won't. They
Yes.
won't. They won't. So how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's been like a week since we recorded because we didn't do an extra episode this week.
I know.
We are this week. We are recording this week on the Duggar documentary. So the Shiny Happy People on Amazon Prime about the Duggars and their whacked out church, ILBP and stuff. We are recording about that on Thursday.
I'm super excited. I still have to watch it, and I'm so excited.
I am so excited because like Becca's already been like, oh my God, and there's so it's like there's so much to talk about. I'm very excited to have we're gonna have Becca back with us, who knows all of this stuff and also reality, sort of at it herself. So it's that's gonna be a lot of fun. So we'll have that for you hopefully Friday, or early this weekend as possible. But that said, it's Monday. It's Monday.
Yay.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
It was okay. I've been battling a cold.
Mm-hmm.
So other than that, at work, the usual.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
Good.
Oh, you went to the Gay Pride Parade in DC.
I was in the Gay Pride Parade.
Yes, those pictures are awesome.
I was calling it DC Pride. I guess the official name is Capitol Pride. But yes, the Washington DC Pride Parade was this weekend. And as my husband works for one of the local TV stations, they were in the parade. And as family members, we were as well. So it was me and hetero life mate and baby stepfrauded. And so it was a blast. We were all in our rainbow and I was just dancing the whole way. And of course, like I'm like dancing along with like one of the reporters, right? And he's like a fetus compared to me age-wise, and I'm like, okay, it's Monday, that was Saturday, like I'm still recovering from like physically. I'm like,
right,
okay, no, I'm still recovering. Seems I can no longer dance.
I was gonna say, did you get your steps in?
I did. I had like 4 miles worth of walking in. It was insane.
You had leg day and got your steps in, and probably cardio.
Oh my God. Yeah. It was so much fun. It was a lot of fun. Really exciting. It was really exciting. And it was cool because it was baby step frauded's first gay like pride parade. And for her to actually be in the parade was like, was cool. So
go big.
right. Like what you can't compare just going to a parade after this,
Right. For sure.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So that was fun. My other dog had diarrhea, so that's been fun, but I think he's over it now. Yeah. I was like starting to get worried about him. I'm like, still keeping a close eye on them because I am worried. Like if one got it and then the other one got it, but both could be just completely random, but you never know. So
right.
Keeping an eye on them. They'll be due soon for their checkup. Like
Charlie
just had like their regular like yearly stuff. So I can ask her about it. Oh God.
What happened?
I hit my knee on the desk.
I thought you were falling out of your chair. I was like, please no injuries.
That's entirely possible too. That is equally plausible.
Oh my goodness. You Nancy Kerrigan yourself.
I did. I completely Tanya Harding Nancy Kerrigan. Oh God, did we just date ourselves?
We did. And
I feel like I'm so much older than you are. Even though, like, in a lot of ways, I'm not. Like, I am, but I'm not. Anyway, we have extra wet Wednesday today because we have 2 episodes of Below Deck Sailing Yacht on tonight. Do we know why? Do we know why?
I think they just wanted to, like, just make the Daisy drama bigger. I don't know.
Are we gonna like not get an episode next week or something? Like, is it gonna be something like that? Maybe?
I don't know. And you figure we have Below Deck Med starting after this season, I'm assuming. July, I think.
We
So
have
I don't know.
We have another season of Below Deck Australia starting.
Australia, not Med. Sorry, Australia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess I have to hurry up and watch the first season, I guess.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, I was started to watch it, and then it was like the person on it was like, haha, I'm Chief Stew now, and I was Second Stew before.
Yeah, Aisha.
And she was from, Below Deck Med, and I was like, oh, well, shit, now I have to go watch Med first, but no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have to watch Australia before, just so I'm caught up before this season.
It was good. It was a good season, and the captain is easy on the eyes. I'll tell you that much.
Right. We had this discussion about how old he was.
Yes. I seriously thought he was older than he really is, and he's only a year older than me. It's like, what? What? I mean, don't get me wrong. He's extremely attractive. I just thought he was like in his maybe early 50s, late 40s.
I was like, oh, honey, no.
I was way off. So don't take offense if anybody is like gonna at me and whatever. Hard to tell.
So this week, okay, first of all, I have to say, after watching, 2 episodes in a row Below Deck, not that that's unheard of.
I felt like it was like watching the Titanic. It was just like never ending. Not in a bad way. It was just like,
but not in a bad way. But can I just say, can we take a moment to appreciate the production quality on Below Deck versus our old stomping grounds of 90 Day?
Yes.
Like in 90 Day, like we long stopped commenting on like continuity errors or whatever, because when they had to shoot a scene like 6 times and something changed within the scene and then they spliced it together, like, and they're like wearing different boots here, then, things like that, like stupid shit that like, people noticed, but wasn't like fraudulent. Like we stopped even reporting on that shit because it was so prevalent all the time. And to go from that kind of shitty production quality to over in Below Deck Sailing Yacht, where not only do we not have that kind of bullshit, but we have beautiful, beautiful vignettes and little, like all these little production gems that are dropped in there throughout. And that's like the farting and the burping and the random little things that they catch. And my favorite first I was like, Captain Glenn in the on the e-foil or whatever, they showed him when all the crew was off at the island or whatever, and he showed him. And then they showed like another scene of him doing that, and then they showed him watching the humpback whale porn. Yes. And I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. It was humpback whales and their sexual partners. And it was
like, listen, okay, that cabin is seeing more action than any other cabin. You've got like Alex playing with himself, and then you've got Captain Glenn watching whale porn. I feel like there's a lot going on in their cabin.
A lot of secrets in those walls. Those walls could talk, man.
Right.
I don't even want to know, but I will say, and I have to say thank you to the production team for all of that, because I think it was either last week or the week before where I was complaining that we didn't get Captain Glenn, scene of him like trying to cook something or trying to make a drink or something back on the boat while everybody was out drinking or having dinner. Like they usually were showing those, and there was like 1 week where we didn't get any, and I made a complaint, and I was like, Cortland, I'm looking at you, and now look, we have like multiple ones. So, naturally, correlation does not equal causation. So, whatever. But I'm very happy. I was very happy to have all those Captain Glenn spots.
Me too. No, I love it. I love this show.
Yeah. So
super cool.
Very, very happy about this. But we had a lot of it tonight. There were a lot of commercials, so it wasn't quite like a double-decker episode, I would say. But there was a lot going on, and I am glad that they did it, because then we got to see a lot of the drama play out, right?
Yeah.
And see what was going to be happening and get all that together, and that was really nice. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll come right back and start in on Below Deck. Oh my God, you guys, I want to tell you about this underwear that I'm obsessed with. It is the Fits Everybody collection by Skims. And it feels like no other underwear I've ever worn before. It's stretchy and soft, and it kind of just melts onto your body and you forget you're wearing it. Skims is creating the next generation of underwear for everybody. And I do mean everybody. My girls are a 34 double D. I've breastfed, I've had a reduction, I've gained weight, I've lost weight, I've been through it all. And this is my new favorite bra that I wear all the time. It is the Fits Everybody t-shirt bra, and I'm telling you, it's a miracle. A t-shirt bra I can actually wear. I love it. It's my favorite. I'm also a super fan of the Fits Everybody Racerback bra. It's my new go-to bra when working from home. The Fits Everybody collection of underwear is super lightweight and molds to your body. It's a buttery soft fabric that stretches twice its size without ever losing its shape, meaning that you get the perfect fit every time. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. You will get the perfect fit every time with these. And they're available in sizes double extra small up to a 4X. You guys, believe the hype. The collection has nearly 90,000 5-star reviews for a reason. The Fits Everybody collection and more perfect fit essentials are available now at skims.com. Plus, you get free shipping on orders over $75. After you place your order, be sure to let them know that we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select the Fraudcast from the drop-down menu that follows. Hey, you guys. You know that I love my Nutrafol. I've been taking it for a long time, and I'm going to continue to take it for a long time because I, like millions of Americans, experience thinning hair. It's more than common. It's normal, but it's not openly talked about, especially among women. Going through it can be lonely and frustrating, and it's time to change that conversation and join the thousands of women like me who are standing up for their strands with Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, thickness, and visible scalp coverage. Nutrafol supports healthy hair growth from within by targeting the 5 root causes of thinning: stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, and metabolism through a whole body health. Nutrafol has 3 unique formulas to support women throughout all stages of life, including postpartum and menopause. Each formula is physician formulated using natural, drug-free, medical-grade ingredients in consistently effective dosages so you get the most reliable results. In a clinical study, 86% of women reported improved hair growth after 6 months. Over 3,000 top doctors and stylists recommend Nutrafol as an effective and high-quality solution for healthier hair. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering the promo code FRAUD to save $10 off your first month subscription. This offer is only available to U.S. customers for a limited time. Plus, you get free shipping on every order. Get $10 off at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, with the promo code FRAUD.
Season 4, episode 10, Loose Lips Sink Friendships. Previously, we see Chase getting female attention from the Cougar Charter guests. Matt says it's casual sex to her between her and Gary, and that obviously she's said it over and over again. She's not in love with Gary. Then we see Daisy and Gary talk, and he says he has feelings for her, but he was too scared to tell her. And then the shitstorm of the backed up toilets
Literal
And-
shitstorm.
Right. And the men Colin, Gary, and Alex trying to fix the toilet. So that was the end of the episode for last week.
Right.
Now, starting this week, they said that the turd was the size of a football per Colin, actually. And that it came from one of the women's cabins. I would trust the engineer. That's all I'm saying. He seems to know the flow of the
flow.
the flow of
Or
the
the lack of flow, as it were.
Right. I don't know. Then he started talking about like pressure and like how basically shit would go everywhere. And I was like, this is awful.
That sounds like the worst thing ever. To have like your pipes backed up on a boat. Like, no, that just seems like.
And see, they need Captain Jason from Below Deck Australia because he was a former plumber. So if he was on the ship, he could have probably fixed it.
If he was on the ship, he could have fixed the shit.
Could have fixed the shit, and he would have cleaned it up because he did on season 1. He was cleaning up poop right along with the deckhands and stuff.
Well, I don't cleaning up poop. No, thank you.
I do that enough every day.
I bet you do.
So we see the tip meeting. The ladies left a $13,000 tip. There were only 4 of them. And Captain Glenn seemed overall really happy with how the charter went. Alicia's food was good.
I think he was right when he said just having the 4 people versus 6 like gave him a chance to like catch up and reset. So
definitely the energy was good.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
But then
and we see the crew setting up for a party for Gary, which I'm like, let's just make his head even bigger. Wait, there's multiple heads because now they have masks of Gary that they're all gonna wear.
Gary faces with the cigarettes. They're all wearing the Gary masks.
Yeah, I was like, this is so Gary. He is loving seeing himself.
Oh God, yes.
And Colin is being interviewed, and he says that the situation with Daisy is just so natural since they're already really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I'm watching, and I'm like, yes, I am rooting for the 2 of them. I really like Colin. It seems like there's a lot of chemistry and history. Great. I was on board.
You were.
Were. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah.
So then is this when they're getting ready to go out and Gary tells Daisy to be nice to him? And she's like, I'm always nice to you.
It is. Yes.
And that was when I first texted you and said, oh dear God, she's bothering me already.
Yep.
It's exactly when I texted you.
I was like, why? What's going on? Like, why is he asking her not to make fun of him? When also Gary makes fun of everyone. So,
Yeah. So Gary says, be nice to me. And they do a little flashback to a couple different times where she's, saying dick things to him, which in all fairness, he's doing to her too, and whatever.
The banter, they're bantering.
And stuff. But then she's like, I always have your back, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bitch, no, you do not. You're sitting there bitching about him every chance you get to anybody who will fucking listen and to people who won't listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bitch. Oh, I feel so bad. I feel so horrible. She was more upset about that right there than she was later about Colin.
Yeah.
And that tells you everything you need to know about things that happen later. But that's
right.
Okay.
No, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Which we'll loop around later because I have some feelings.
Yes, we'll be looping them back around.
Yes.
There will be loops. Loop-de-loops.
Then we see Chase, our boy Chase, and he said he's gonna try his best not to offend anyone and be, quote, less. Which he again makes me happy to watch him on TV because in this episode he was so sweet, just like the whole episode.
I love that he had apologized to Lucy for being a dick and recognizing his behavior. And we talked about that last time, that it was like a genuine apology about his behavior, not like, I'm sorry you're mad, but hey, I acted like a dick. Like, I'm sorry about that.
Yes.
And then he changed his behavior, which is like, Oh, that's what happens. Yes.
Mhm.
It's supposed to happen. You
Yep.
apologize. It's just empty unless you change your behavior.
And there was no but after, like you mentioned. No
Yeah.
excuse.
So yeah, and his behavior changed this time. So,
Yeah.
you know.
And I'm surprised because then Alex was interviewed and he was like, he said if he was more forward, he could probably get Mads, which makes a lot of sense. But I feel like Alex is way more low key than I thought he was going to be. Like going into the season, I thought he was going to be this like
Much more alpha
player.
than he
Yeah,
turned out to be.
he's like super low key and
He's super
chill.
beta is what it turned out to be, a beta male, which we were not
100%.
expecting
No,
from him at all.
I thought him and Gary were going to go at it at the beginning. Like I thought they were going to compete, and
Yeah.
now he's just like whatever.
But yeah, immediately Alex was like, yeah, no, thanks. And then like shrunk back and then just drank himself into oblivion every night. So despite everything that Mads is throwing down, which she's throwing down a lot, he's not picking any of it up.
No, the only thing he's picking up is a bottle.
Yeah. Amen. That is so true. Yes. And she is trying, and he is not recognizing any of it. And I mean, I guess, there's the part of him that's like, oh, well, it's my boss's girlfriend. No, first of all, no, and no, none of that is true. And it's all just excuses. So you don't have to try, because then you'll fail because you're just a beta male.
I feel like he's used to getting girls because he's really good looking. I feel like he's just used to girls approaching him, and this situation is different. And he doesn't want to. Maybe he's lazy. Maybe he just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to put in the effort.
Maybe she's just not worth it. It's just like
whatever.
That's a lot of effort. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good jerking myself off in the back.
Yeah, maybe. Well, then we see Gary wrestling with Colin in the cruise quarters and asking him if he's going to hook up with Daisy again. And I was like, typical Gary. Typical Gary.
Pissed me off so much. Both episodes, but this specifically about this episode, because knowing that he's okay, so knowing that he's hooked up with Daisy and knowing he still would hook up with her because he can't just let anybody be happy. It's like he's got to pull out his dick and have the biggest wanker, right? And then seeing him later where he's like molesting, Daisy at the dinner table, basically.
So awkward, made me super uncomfortable watching.
And then I was pissed at Daisy for all that too, because I was like, Daisy, bitch, you can't do that. You can't sit there and claim you like Colin when you're going to sit and engage in that behavior. And that is just like, But going back to Gary, like Gary and Colin, like Gary just being like that and then turning around and doing that same bullshit. And then later in the second episode, we'll loop back to that anyway.
Right. I completely skipped over the fact that they went to dinner, but there was no drama. Nothing was revealed. So we're going back to the boat now. Yeah. And we see a threesome kiss between Alex, Mads, and Lucy in the hot tub very quickly. And Mads even made a comment because she was to one side of him. So she just basically
I finally got to kiss Alex.
Right. And he's like, oh. Like, what is happening? He literally, he could have grabbed her and made out with her. She would have definitely kissed him back.
She would have fucked him right there on the hot tub.
100%.
Lucy would have been like, oh, okay.
Right. Well, what I found interesting was soon after that threesome kiss, Mad sees Gary hugging Daisy. She's walking up the stairs and they're in a very tight embrace, which was way more than a just like we're just friends hug.
Yeah.
It was like, there might have been some swaying even. I don't know, but it was a tight hug.
Well, they're continuing the behavior that started at dinner. And this is like the thing about that started at dinner was this behavior between Gary and Daisy. And it's like, I think, Gary certainly initiated it, but Daisy did nothing to stop it. Right. So she's just as guilty in my eyes. They're doing it right in front of Colin. Like, Daisy, bitch, no. And then Gary being a dick, and like I said, we're gonna come back to him, but Anyway, so yeah, so then you see Gary and Daisy in that so hooked up. we've hooked up type of embrace. Yeah. And Mads literally didn't care. She was just like, oh, okay.
She didn't care, but then she did kind of get a little like, I don't know, like the attention's not on me, but I don't care.
I didn't see that, but maybe
then she like went right at him at the hot tub and started making out. And I was like, whatever. So Daisy jumps into Colin's bed, and we hear Mads and Gary hooking up in the other room, the guest quarters or whatever.
And he's singing happy birthday to himself while she's like having an orgasm. And I'm like, that is the most Gary thing ever. Gary is like that guy that's going to be like, let me check out my O face, like in the mirror, like having sex with him.
Do you think Gary is the type of guy that wants to make a girl orgasm just so he said he could make the girl orgasm, not because she's enjoying it? Like, I did that.
I did
not that. Like, oh, are you enjoying yourself? And
he probably just gets lucky with like Mads saying it was good, right? Like, I think it's like even a broken clock is right twice a day, right? Like I figure like Gary's gonna hit the mark every couple of women that he's with, right? Like because every woman is different about what they like and what they need and where to be touched and how to be touched and all that stuff. So I feel like every third woman he gets lucky on.
So that's a lot of women. He's getting lucky one every third, maybe every week. He's rotating out the women. Like I can't do math right now. Anyways, I was gonna throw in some percentages and days, but yeah, I don't even know. So then we see Chase laying in bed, and he's saying that Daisy snores like a bear, and he picked the wrong cabin to be in. And everyone's kind of going their separate ways.
I should have been rooming with Glenn.
I'll tell you what, though, these kids party because the next day they looked a hot mess. All of them. I was like, somebody's going to be puking overboard. Nobody threw up that I could see. But I was like, everybody looks like The Walking Dead.
Yeah. And then they all go day drink all day long. That gets me. Like that starts hitting some trigger points in me. And I'm like, oh, but not trigger in a good way. Like, I mean, trigger in like a bad way. And the like, oh, that just reminds me of drinking all day. Like all day drinking. Like it just always was a shit storm for me. And so like it's fine for them, fine for other people, but for me it just stirs up those memories of like, oh, nothing good came from day drinking all day like that.
Even when I was younger, I couldn't do it. I can't last that long.
I don't know how I did it. Oh, right, I'm an alcoholic. That's how I did it. Anyway, but yes, they partied and then they went to the beach or whatever. The
cabana
and that stuff. And
they're mixing like rosé with tequila. I was like, these people go hard. I was like, I would be passed out. Well, I guess that Alex does end up getting passed.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah. So Mads kind of pushes Gary away because she's like getting annoyed by him. So then where does Gary
he's
go?
Getting all clingy and stuff.
Right. So then Gary literally just turns around to Daisy and is like all touchy-feely. And that's kind of what we're talking about when she didn't say no. I mean, she was kind of like, well, no, but she was letting it happen. Right. And I'm like, she's in love with this guy. I don't care what she says. She is totally in love with him.
For whatever reason. Yeah.
And then we see Colin upsetting Alicia by saying that the last chef they had was like the best, which was Marcos, right?
Yeah.
Which
Chef Marcos, who was. I mean, he was an amazing chef, but what on earth did Colin have to gain? What was he thinking? I mean, to his credit, he did recognize later that he was a dumbass for saying, why did he say it? And he apologized for it. But like at first I was like, no, not our precious like national treasure Colin. Like he can do no wrong. Like that was why are you doing that, Colin?
I feel like some people just don't think. Like, remember he made the comment about with Daisy and about how she was upset when she had her breakdown. I think he just doesn't think. And then of course Chase went in his 23 years of knowledge and emotional maturity says, you got to just tell women that they're the best and lie to them. I'm like, Chase, I love you.
He just knew. he just knows, you know?
He's been hanging out with the Cougars so long after the last charter.
Yeah, right?
Like,
well, you know, hey, gets him an extra tip. He'll give the tip.
And then the uncomfortable moment of Gary trying to spin Daisy around and telling her she has a model body, and like it was just so weird.
It was just yeah, he's flirting with her. They're having like getting all handsy with each other. Colin's
motorboating
her, and by that we mean like the lips on the boobs motorboating, not a tender, like the actual boat of a motorboat, right? Like, and then you've got Mads there who's doesn't give a shit about Gary, and Gary like is bouncing between Mads and Daisy, and I had to rewind it a couple times because they're showing different like hands under like touching each other, and I'm like, wait, whose hands are touching who where? Wait, is there something going on under the table here? Wait, was that Alex and Mads, or wait, no, is that Gary?
You need a chart. So did you figure it out? Was everybody holding the correct hand?
I don't know. I don't know what you mean by correct. So like
Colin wasn't holding like Alicia's hand.
No,
right?
No. Alicia wouldn't do anything wrong.
I know. No, she's an angel. She's an angel.
She is an angel. No, I think it was all the correct people in that it was like Colin and Daisy, but Daisy turned to Gary and was like, "Are you okay with this?"
Huh.
Which was like dumb and stupid and completely like, God, you guys are assholes. Colin, you deserve way better than these people who calling themselves your friends. So
facts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then we see Captain Glenn in the hot tub drinking. I love it. Oh, Daisy kind of kissed Gary. Sorry, I skipped over a major point. Gary's laying his head on Daisy's lap. Wait, I don't remember how they were. Anyways, she didn't reject him. She did not reject him, and she kind of kissed back.
And that was where I was rewinding it, because I was like, wait, was that? No, he was kissing Mads. Oh no, he was kissing Gary. I mean, Gary was kissing Daisy. Like,
that was so crazy.
Yeah, Daisy.
If I was Colin, I would have gotten up and just like been like, I'm done. I would have, no, not my thing. Done. But Colin is smart. He has good instincts. He knew deep down that there was something like something more, something.
It all makes sense now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those red flags that he wasn't seeing because he had rose-colored glasses on. Yeah. He's seeing them now.
Yeah. And then we see Mads and Alex finally getting alone time on the beach. And of course, he does not make a move. And
he has no concept. He is clueless. Oh, poor Alex.
And then now we're at dinner or whatever time of the day it is. And Gary kisses Daisy at the table in front of Colin. I was like, oh my God. And then I typed out, Colin is too good of a guy for these games. That's what I put in my notes. I very rarely, I should say never, write my personal thoughts in the moment because I just know to say them when I'm reading back. But I had to put this in there, I guess. I was like, he's too good of a guy.
That's how you know it's like a real from the heart comment. It's like, oh shit, if I gotta write it down, then
yes, I must say this.
Feel the feeling of my incessant anger. Colin,
if you're listening, come back to Annapolis. You were here 2 years ago, but I did not watch Below Deck back then.
We didn't know. Sorry. No. We know now. Come back to Annapolis. Okay.
Yep. And so now we see Gary and Daisy having a little side conversation where he finally decides to throw her under the bus and break his promise of revealing to the camera, audio, the world that they did have sex and it was fucking amazing.
Sex was amazing. Oh, I didn't mean to say that out loud. Oh, go fuck off, Gary.
Yes,
as Rachel would say, eat my cooter.
I love Rachel. Well, Daisy's face said it all. I mean, she looked absolutely horrified and uncomfortable looking around. I was like, I get it, right? Like, he broke a promise, but I know they're mic'd all the time. I'm telling you now that they could have talked about that before. And there had to been some point where she could have talked to Colin off camera. 100%. There would have been a moment where they weren't
talk to Colin or talk to Gary.
Talk to Colin about the fact that
to tell him that she'd boned Gary.
Right. And I only say that because they both were lying really, really harshly. And I mean, like, I don't know. I have thoughts on that.
Later when she does tell Colin, and then when Colin gets mad and she has the audacity to get fucking mad that he's mad, it's like, you shut the fuck up. Let him have, well, no, and then fucking Gary gets mad at Colin for being mad. Well, fuck him then. He's not like.
I find it interesting too that Gary's reason for revealing this information was his own personal upset at the fact that she was willing to show her relationship with Colin on camera in front of the world and be proud of that. Proud. I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah, but not hiding it.
But hiding him. And his ego could not take that. Couldn't take it. Typical. And I was like, I really think that we need to get Gary together with Jax from Vanderpump. Because I feel like if the two of them were to go out and like party together, game over. The world would just end.
The world would end with
there would be no more chicks left for any other man.
No, panties would be melted all over the place. Just like they'd be dropped and that's it. And then they would just go from like coast to coast. Like, I don't know.
I just like, what happened to Gary when he was younger? Did he like need more hugs? Like, did he not? Like, I just like, I want to give him a hug, but I'm a female, so I'm a little bit nervous. But I just feel, I don't know. There's something deeper with Gary. And I like, I mean,
sure. 100%.
I would definitely party with him and hang out with him. Because he seems like a fun dude. Would not get that close to him, though. Like, as a friend, I wouldn't trust him.
Right.
But he's like the fun guy.
Yeah.
Anyways. So Daisy admits that they slept together. It sounded like after the last charter and at Disney World. But then she later on says, no, we slept together another time, too. I feel like her story wasn't all together. Maybe I misheard that.
What got like admitted on the show was there was twice. There was one time in was it Sardinia? No.
Majorca, I think.
Majorca. Oh, that's right, because no, they're in Sardinia now. But Majorca after the last season, and then another time when they were all in LA together. Right.
Right. I guess they were Disney in LA then, and not Orlando. Duh.
I assumed Disney LA, but I guess I could be wrong. Maybe that would make sense. Californian. That's what my automatic assumption was.
And that's like when I hear Disney being an East Coast, like born and raised.
What's interesting too is that later they make reference to, she's like, well, you made your choice when you decided not to stay with me in London or whatever. And I remember that because you remember watching the reunion, the tell-all, where he was actually at her place while they were doing it. I guess he didn't stay. And that seemed to be an inflection point for whatever was happening with them. So then she's like, I don't know. I want more backstory on that. So I'm hoping that we get more backstory soon. If not,
we better get a reunion this time.
Oh my God, we best get a reunion.
I'm going to be mad if we don't, because I hate when they do that shit. I need a reunion. I need my questions answered, okay?
And Andy does a good job with it.
He does.
Unlike on TLC. Again.
Uh-huh. Well, let's see. Okay, so then we're back on the boat. Chase says he didn't piss anyone off, which was great. Everyone was drunk, running around the boat looking like not running, moving very slowly, looking like zombies, actually. I put moseying around, especially Alex.
Moseying around. Okay, girl. Yeah. Okay,
right.
Edna.
And then Alex goes upstairs and he tells Mads, meet me upstairs. And she's like, I just have to use the the head. And then she disappears with Gary. And like he passes out on top of the deck. I was like, this poor guy. He tries to finally make a move and like tell her where to do. Like, meet me on the top deck. And then she just goes MIA. Like, these people are ridiculous.
They're so dumb. They're so dumb. I'm just so glad that like recordable media wasn't a thing when I was this age doing the same bullshit that they're doing that I'm judging them for now. Like,
I can only imagine the things that would have been exposed. Everyone does.
I couldn't have behaved the same way that I did.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be able to run for president of the United States, that's for sure. Not that I would.
No, I mean, think about what they could dig up though. Like it'd be nice to piece together my 20s. You know, dig up. Maybe I should just to piece that together for me. All right.
Well, okay, so Lucy finds Alex laying passed out, and so she guides him to his room, and Colin grabs his huge ear protection for the engine room to go sleep with Daisy because she snores so loud. And finally, as they're making out, she's like on top of him, grinding him a little bit. I was like, okay, what's happening? That's when she wants to break the news.
Oh, by the way,
BTW.
And then she's just like tries to climb back on him, like no big deal.
Yeah,
and he's scary. Like, I'm gonna go sleep in my room. Bye.
Listen, I wonder what his first thought was. For me, it was he's probably thinking, oh God, Gary, like how many people he's fucked. That was like probably his first thought. Like,
and then like, you know, like all of those thoughts, it's like then, okay, it all makes sense now, you know.
And like I keep referring back to Vanderpump because I just started watching this horrible show that's so addicting.
You're on a Vanderpump Rules kick, and I'm so excited about doing another Vanderpump Rules episode with Kristen.
Yes.
Anyway,
but I thought about like, you know, what would I tell? If I told my friends, hey, I slept with Jax. Okay, I keep referring to Jax, but let's be honest. Oh, like I mean, he literally said he doesn't care or at the time before he met his wife. Like he didn't even care who he slept with, and I feel like Gary's kind of like a little bit like that, sort of.
A lot like that.
Yeah,
whatever's in front of him.
Right.
He's got to keep Mads on the hooks in case he can't get with Daisy, but he's got to keep them both. And
he just needs attention.
Kept on the hooks.
I'm surprised he's not giving Lucy any attention. Like, what is happening? Poor Lucy is the only one that's like, actually, not poor her.
Oh
Good for
God,
her.
I just
She's
spit
safe.
out my water all over me.
Yeah. Well, of course, everyone's drunk, so Colin is now like trying to process what Daisy's saying. So he's like, I need space. I need to figure this out. Like, rightfully so. He needs to, think about it.
You need to respect that.
And then Daisy pulls a Gary.
And she doesn't respect it.
No, she pulls a Gary. Next thing you know, she's all over him. Like, no, listen. I'm like, the man needs to think. He is processing.
Yeah. Like I was just like, just let him go for God's sakes. Like,
yeah.
Stop being bitch.
Yeah. So that's where they end the episode. And I don't have to recap it because now we move right into the next episode.
Immediately
episode
into
11.
The next one.
Burnt hands and broken hearts.
Yes, Alicia burns her hand in this episode.
I feel like she's had some bad luck too.
Yeah.
The cut and then this.
Yeah.
So Colin says he feels weird now because Gary's his boy. And I get what he's saying because in his mind, he would have never pursued Daisy if he knew that there was some sort of drama or tension, that his boy liked her, bro code, whatever.
If he had known that they had slept together, despite Gary saying, oh, there's nothing between us, it would have been harder for him to believe that if he'd known that they had slept together. Because that, even if there wasn't for real anything between them, the fact that there had been would change the equation.
Right. And I feel like Colin's too smart for that because he's looking at it like, this guy Gary is so all over Daisy all the time. And he's known both of them for so long now that he can see the behavior.
Right.
So Colin is calling them both liars and wants them out of his room. Colin thought they had chemistry. Oh, that, Daisy and Gary had chemistry. Okay. So Daisy warns Gary that she texts Gary, hey, I told Colin about what happened. Gives him a heads up. And I will say, I'm actually very surprised that Gary didn't spill the tea. It took him this long to finally put it out there. Just because he's so arrogant, I felt like he would have wanted people to know.
Which is interesting because it's Daisy. Is it because it's Daisy that he, does he actually have this deeper feeling and respect for her that he's respecting that, where he wouldn't typically respect that from someone? Yeah,
that's true.
Interesting.
I think Gary needs therapy so he can work out his feelings of what is
serious for real. That guy's got some serious abandonment issues.
100%. So again, we already talked about Gary's ego being bruised.
Oh, poor Gary.
Yeah. And that was pretty much it with that. We see Lucy graduating with a sports management degree. She was waiting to see if she passed.
Yeah. Her grades were, she spent a portion of the episode, waiting for her grades to come in, and she was all afraid that she wasn't going to pass, but she did.
And then I love the scene where Gary's telling Mads, hey, just so you know, Daisy and I hooked up before, everyone knows. She's like, okay.
She's like, I really don't care.
She's like, that makes sense. Whatever.
Okay.
I really don't care. No, but I think you should know. Yeah.
Okay, I'm good. I'm really good. That's fine.
So Daisy and Colin are in the engine room talking about what happened. And Colin's like, I don't want to be a part of this. Colin doesn't like drama. He is just doesn't want to be a part of it. Yeah. Right. So
I did rather enjoy the scene of where it was Alex, Chase, and like Mads and Lucy. And we're like, what is going on with our heads of department? They're like cocked in the head. Like, these people are so dramatic. It's
the most dramatic people ever.
Yeah.
You've got Chase, Mads, who are really super young, right? Mm-hmm. And then you've got Alex, who seems super chill, and the three of them are like, what the fuck is going on, basically? Which, I don't think Colin is dramatic. I think he was pulled into it. I mean, he doesn't want to part of it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So then Gary says, let's just have a threesome to Daisy.
Like, that would be his solution.
I'm
totally like Gary's solution.
100%. So I realized too in typing my notes that the last episode there were no charter guests on board at all, because now we see charter guests coming on this episode. Mm-hmm. And I liked their vibe. They were super chill. They were nice. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a good charter. I could feel it. We'll see. Hopefully it is.
So far, it's been good up until they ate their cake. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens if we get reaction from them eating their cake. But
right. Well, this poor boat. So the alarms start going off again, and I was like, please tell me we're not going to have another fire. I feel like every episode there's some sort of massive incident, and I typed that you need to make this a bingo square at this point.
At this point, yeah.
Right.
But, they were foreshadowing this because they were showing Glenn going, and they're like, he's pushing it higher, and Colin was asking him, like, what are you doing? And I had the flashback to when, well, we could do this workaround, it just means you lose a few knots in power. And that's what I zeroed back in on. I was like, oh shit, this is something bad's about to happen.
Right. And the guests are just enjoying themselves. La la la.
And then they smell the gas and things are bad. Mm-hmm. But then they fixed it. Colin fixed it, right?
Mr. Fix It. He tells Captain Glenn to just go slow.
Just go fucking slow, like I told you the first time, old man.
Right. And well, then we see them sailing, and my favorite part, the healing.
Yeah. The healing and then everything. That's when Alicia hurts herself, though.
Oh yeah, the poor thing.
She burned herself on.
She did take a big chunk of skin off this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's Chase. Okay, so I was like, Chase is gonna be a good dad. He was like, oh, you're great. You're gonna be great. It's just it's boo boo. Here, let me clean it. He's like, he called it a boo boo and is like cleaning it and supporting her with positivity and love. I was like, can he just have a baby now?
He's just like the sweetest, like most like sweetest ray of sunshine. Like that's
Sunshine.
Chase. He's just a ray of sunshine is what he is.
Yeah. I was like, that was just so sweet. I don't know. It's just so sweet.
We love you, Chase. Captain America.
So then one of the guests is walking around the boat looking for someone to make her a pina colada. And Captain Glenn said that was his pet peeve, is a guest having to find someone.
As it should be.
And then he's trying to radio Daisy, who doesn't have a radio on. And I was like, if this was Captain Lee,
Captain Lee would be.
Captain Lee would have thrown him overboard. Yeah. Oh, I love Captain Lee.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and not only she don't have a radio, but she's in Colin's room talking to fucking Colin about, oh, can we talk, or whatever.
Yikes.
I don't even remember what they were talking about because I was so incensed with her at that point.
I know. And then we see Colin call his sister about the situation. And I like Colin's sister's vibe. Yeah. She seems really cool.
And I like their relationship. That was cute. Yeah.
That was. And his sister
nice little glimpse of back home Colin.
I was laughing when his sister said, well, something about, I'm sure Daisy didn't want anybody to know that she hooked up with Gary. And that's kind of what.
Yeah. Like, who wants people to know they hooked up with Gary? Like, you can't blame a girl.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And she seemed just super supportive, like, do whatever you feel like you need to do, hang out with her or don't. But I don't think she gave him any bad advice, which was great.
Yeah.
So they're at the beach now. It's Daisy and Gary setting up for the guests to come on the beach.
Oh, and they're like looking like they're about 30 seconds away from boning right there on the beach.
100%. And Gary's like, telling Daisy how I'm not going to break a promise and that's why I didn't say anything or it took whatever. And then I'm like, but you did break a promise because you said it on national television.
Yeah.
And he didn't have any remorse at all.
He immediately went into defensive, like, oh, well, fuck you. Then I turn it around on him, mode. Rather than even thinking for a second that he may have done something maybe less than desirable, like instead of stopping to think that maybe his behavior was problematic or to even reflect upon his own behavior, doesn't even take a second for that. He's immediately into blame Colin for being emotional about fuck him then if he expect me to or whatever. Okay, that says a lot about your friendship,
right.
And then I'm sure that Colin hearing that and seeing that was like, okay, then.
Now, see, I get, and I do understand a little bit of where Gary's coming from with not wanting to rock the boat, no pun intended, between Daisy and Colin and his friendship with Colin. But at the same time, he needed to have a conversation like an adult with Daisy and say, hey, Colin's my boy. I really think we need to tell him. Yeah. Or have that adult conversation rather than just throwing it in Colin's face, the flirtation, the kissing, the weirdness.
And he's all, if I hadn't had COVID, like this would have been different, as if because he missed getting his hooks into Daisy first. Like, I don't understand.
Right.
That wouldn't have changed anything, Gary. Like, you're just, no.
Right.
He's just refusing to even consider his own behavior at all.
Yeah. Totally.
And immediately
we see the guests eating the Caribbean food that Alicia prepared. And she was super nervous about it because it meant a lot to the guests. That was like their big thing. But they absolutely loved it, as did Captain Glenn.
She knocked it out of the park, which was great.
And it was good to see, for sure, especially after Colin's comment.
About her. Oh, not that she was bad, just that, the chef we had before was way better.
And then we get to the end of the episode where we have the birthday cake. Everyone's enjoying the birthday cake. And then the crew eats it. the rest of it when they think they're done. Who was it that said adults don't eat second pieces of cake or something?
So they all justified eating the remaining
Who
cake.
does
And
that?
then they like, oh yeah, Mads is like, or whatever, like, oh, did you want more cake? You know what I do, or whatever, whoever it was. And then, yeah, I do want more cake. And then she's like, nobody better fucking touch that cake.
What do you think's going to happen? I think they're going to be super cool and laugh about it. I think.
Oh.
Or they're going to lie and tell them that wait, there is no more. You ate it all. One of the two. I don't think they're going to be mad.
They're not going to tell them you ate it all.
I don't know.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so that's,
so I can't wait for next week.
Yes. Yeah, so yeah, supersized extra wet Wednesday. So I'm so mad at Gary for the way he's treating his friendship with Colin.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so mad at him for that. And I it seems like, okay, like his first gut instinct was to do that. And he'll probably come back around and be like, oh, I behaved badly, blah, blah, blah. But that's his typical go-to, right? Like, that's his normal, is he immediately doesn't look at his behavior until later. He reacts first and then, thinks about it and later. So I suspect we're going to see some of that, but it's like, Colin, you deserve better than both of these two, because you got Gary acting like this. You got Daisy doing making out with Gary right in front of you and clearly enjoying that. And
you can't have your cake and eat it too, Katrina, or can you? I'm sorry.
God damn it.
I've got dad jokes right now. I'm full of dad jokes.
And I hate that one. That's my least favorite. I don't understand. Why can't you? What's the point of having fucking cake if you can't eat it? What's the goddamn point? Why would you want cake if you can't eat it? I don't understand it.
It's the Dayquil. It's the Dayquil talking. I have no idea.
You say Dayquil?
Occasionally.
I feel like that's it would interfere with your tree bark and ant.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes you just got to go hard.
Yeah. Mark safe from having sex with Gary.
Yes.
And with that, thanks guys for tuning in. We love you. If you like this, be sure to leave us a review. That would be great. Thanks. Love you. Bye.